Chesnaught with Rillaboom, a double grass starter duo, ended up making top 32 at the biggest international championship to date. We're going to be trying out Chesnaught and seeing how well it can perform. This is a double grass duo team with 3 starter Pokemon that ended up making top 32 at the European International Championship. It's pretty much your standard Bolt balance with the Calm Mind, Raging Bolt, and all those other factors, but the only real big difference is the last slot, which is usually a Landorus Incarnate, maybe a Fluttermane, sometimes a Moongus, but this time it is a Chesnaught. So we have a pretty general good balanced core. We have the Urshifu, the Rillaboom Incineroar, you have the Fake Out, the Parting Shots, the U-Turn, all the ways to pivot around with that really powerful Urshifu that can hit to protect. You get the Qianpao that also has great typing that can help support the Urshifu, and of course the Calm Mind, Raging Bolt. These are not really anything new surprises, but the big one is the Belly Drum Bulletproof Chesnaught. And what does Chesnaught's ability do? Bulletproof does make it immune to ball and bomb type moves, and what that means, it's immune to Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and a few other specific moves that allows Chesnaught to actually wall a bit right here. For instance, a Landorus Incarnate form usually runs Earth Power and Sludge Bomb, but it naturally resists Earth Power and it is weak to Sludge Bomb naturally. However, with Bulletproof, you are immune to it. You can also be able to wall Fluttermane, for instance, with Terra Fire, because Shadow Ball is usually the main move you expect on Fluttermane to hit opposing Chesnaughts that can Terra Fire, which resists the fairy type moves. But Shadow Ball, you aren't doing any damage to Chesnaught because of the Bulletproof. On top of that, you actually have the Grassy Glide, a really powerful option after you get to +6 with the Belly Drum, which is extremely nice. And Chesnaught has some really high base physical defense, so it's actually able to take hits extremely well and then boost up its attack stat, heal from the grassy terrain. You have that support with double Fake Out, you have Parting Shot, you have Willis, all of these factors to help the Chesnaught be able to take attacks, set up that Belly Drum, and then dish out priority Grassy Glides. Double Grassy Glides can be super threatening in this format, especially from a +6 Chesnaught, and with Sword of Ruin on the Qianpao to boot. So you have a lot of ways to dish out a ton of damage. It is really impressive. We're going to be trying out this Chesnaught team, seeing how well it does, and if you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Talonflame, Dragonite, the Wellspring Ogerpon, Urshifu, Landorus Incarnate form, and Fluttermane. Okay, this one's gonna be a bit tough. I mean, I do think I could probably deal well with Chesnaught. I think it really depends on if it's gonna be Dark Urshifu in this matchup. Dragonite's a really big concern because that Pokemon is not super easy to handle, but I think I could manage well. I think it's I think I do want to try out the mode here with the Chesnaught. I just need to make sure that I can handle the Dragonite safely. Burning it with Willis can be a play, or maybe like using my Urshifu or Qianpao. I don't know if I really want to bring Qianpao into this. Grassy Glide's not too bad, but not exactly super easy, I'd say. I think Chesnaught's a pretty good bring with Incineroar just to feel things out for the start. And then in the back, Rillaboom's really good. And then I think last Pokemon, probably going to be Urshifu. I was thinking Qianpao, but I don't think I really need Qianpao. Like, Grassy Glide should probably pick up the knockouts at +6. There's not really a way my opponent can stop Intimidate. I mean, the Pokemon I'm not getting with Grassy Glide, like I wasn't getting with Grassy Glide even with the Sword of Ruins. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Sure, Qianpao helps out a bit against the Dragonite, but I think I can manage well, especially because Chesnaught does, again, have really good bulk. And I don't want their physical attacks doing more damage to Chesnaught. We're going to see Dragonite and Talonflame, so not the best lead for me, but not a terrible one. It depends on the Talonflame's moveset, but I do think that this is pretty okay, because I am going to be able to get Intimidate off into Talonflame. I did bring quite a few weeks, though, to this Talonflame, or just flying coverage in general. I do think Spiky Shield is correct with the Chesnaught here, and just going for a Willis turn 1 into the Dragonite makes a lot of sense to me. As long as this isn't Talonflame, I'm in a pretty good spot, I think, because of Willis and the Dragonite should allow me just to have the option to probably go for the Terra the next turn with Chesnaught, get a Belly Drum up, and then I think we'll be in a really good spot from there. We're going to see an immediate Terra. Oh, is this the upper hand strat? Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about this upper hand strat. We've seen this before. I should have probably got Deja Vu. The Terra had to remind me of the Deja Vu, but we are going to Spike a Shield with the Chesnaught. We're going to see the upper hand does come out into the Dragonite. Yep, this is not too surprising. Weakness policy is going to activate. But they did make their Dragonite weaker to my Chesnaught, which I will take. So might not be the worst option here. Let's see what they decide to go for. Gonna be Extreme Speed, does target down the Incineroar. If Incineroar survives this, which should, I think, because no sort of ruin, yeah, easily, as we are able to get the Wisp off, and we do land, which is pretty important. So a huge Willis land into the Dragonite, and yeah, that's a very, very good start there. Okay, perfect. Now, with the Dragonite burn, it's not really going to be able to do too much damage, and again, that's the reason why I didn't want to bring Xianpao, just because of that situation. But now we can go for a Terra. We're going to go for the Belly Drum with the Chesnaught. We're going to go for a Parting Shot into the Dragonite, I think. I don't think the Talonflame's doing much damage. It has a really, really low attack stat, and yeah, I think I'd rather just target the Dragonite here. So we will go for the Terrifier. I don't want to really switch into a Brave Bird with anything here. So we'll go for that Terrifier. Let's see what they decide to commit here. But Chesnaught should be able to take attacks extremely well in this position. We're going to see Dragonite actually go for Protect, which is absolutely okay here. Okay. Air Cutter. Oh, is this the same guy? I don't think it is. Air Cutter, sure. But my Chesnaught is going to now have a +6, which is going to be pretty nice. We are going to be able to get our Citrus Berry back. And yeah, I don't really feel like that this is that bad of a spot. Although I do have to watch out because the Talonflame is actually something I'm going to have to respect a little bit. Was that Scope Lands on this team? I don't think it was. I'm just going to Spiky Shield the Chesnaught and try to go for a Parting Shot. I'm going to go for a Parting Shot into the... I guess I don't need to target the Dragonite. I'm actually a little bit worried about how much air... Should I worry about how much Air Cutter does? Because I don't think it... We saw how much damage it did to Incineroar. It really did not do anything. I'm going to Parting Shot the Talonflame, though. Why not? I don't think Dragonite's too big of a deal when it's burned. Even if it's at +2 to negate it, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I did go for the Extreme Speed, which is okay here. So that is going to knock out my Incineroar, but I will take the Incineroar gone. I will get to have a free switch into my Rillaboom, and I get to click Fake Out into the Talonflame slot. I guess the question is, what kind of Talonflame item are you? But I don't think this is that big of a deal here. And I would really like to get Drain Punch off in the Talonflame, I think, and get some recovery. So we will bring out our Rillaboom, because, like, the thing is, I think the Air Slash is actually more threatening than Extreme Speeds at this rate. Bring out the Rillaboom, get the Grassy Surge up. And now we Fake Out and Drain Punch the Talonflame. So Drain Punch for recovery, Fake Out into the Talonflame. If they go for Upper Hand, that's completely fine. Yeah, like that is completely fine because sure, I get flinched, but it's not that really big of a deal. Because really it's just about Talonflame not able to attack the Chesnaught. Extreme Speed going to come out. Does actually do a bit more damage to the Chesnaught than I thought, as we do get the Drain Punch off in the Talonflame. As you can see, we get so much damage in the Talonflame as well as that recovery. So yeah, we're pretty much fine. Rocky Helmet getting a little bit more chip. That's not really appreciated, but I don't think this is that bad of a spot. I'm going to be able to Drain Punch the Dragonite now, get a bunch of recovery back as well. So I will go for the Drain Punch into the Dragonite. And I will go for a Grassy Glide into the Talonflame. If they go for Upper Hand again, so be it. I don't really care because the Talonflames are really not accomplishing too much. So I don't really feel like it's that bad of a position. Ice Spin are going to come out into the Rillaboom, gets rid of the grassy terrain, so something I'm going to have to watch out for later. But again, I don't think this is that bad because now I get a lot of recovery because they didn't target my Chesnaught. So goodbye the Dragonite on their side of the field. So that's actually pretty good. I get all the recovery back. All right. So not too bad. They already burned their Terra. I guess our Shifu is going to be a bit of a problem because the Ice Spinner got rid of my terrain. Yeah, let's see if they do go in their Shifu. If they go in Shifu, I think I have to make a call of whether they Surging Strikes my Chesnaught or not. Or they go hard into Ogre Palm, which is fine too. Okay. So I'm all right with going for a Spiky Shield with Chesnaught here, and I'm going to actually go hard into my Urshifu. And I think I have a very specific play for the upcoming turn, which we'll see if it works or not. So I'm going to bring out the Urshifu. Let's see if they go for probably the Air Cutter here. Oh, they actually went for Spiky Shield, which is an interesting play. All right, so now going for the Ivy Cudgel, which is actually really good for me. Maybe they're just trying to get the Air Cutter damage. Or Heat Wave. Okay, they just really want more damage on Rillaboom, which is fine. Okay. So I'm actually going to go for a U-turn into the Talonflame slot. I'm hoping U-turn knocks out the Talonflame. And this way, I don't have to worry about upper hand. Get in my Rillaboom, making Grassy Glide priority again. And then I should be able to outspeed the Ogerpon and hopefully knock it out with the Grassy Terrain. So yeah, we are able to U-turn the Talonflame, avoid an upper hand situation. We take Rocky Helmet damage, but that's completely fine. The Talonflame is eliminated. We get to go back into our Rillaboom, bring out the Grassy Terrain, and with the Grassy Terrain at +6, I think we should be able to knock out Ogerpon, and then we should be set up in a very good endgame winning position. So Rillaboom going to come back in, Grassy Surge, and that should make this Grassy Glide back to priority, I believe. Yep. So Grassy Glide going to come out into Ogerpon. Does pick up a knockout. Critical hit. I don't think it's necessary. That is a Grassy Terrain +6 right there. So maybe if you're a max defense Ogerpon, like max maybe, but that is a pretty strong hit with the Grassy Terrain boost. Let's see who their last is. It is going to be Urshifu. Was it Water Urshifu? Because oh, it's Dark Urshifu. That makes sense of why they didn't bring it earlier. But this is a guaranteed win now. We can go for a Drain Punch, I suppose, into the Urshifu. We can go for a Fake Out. They already Terra'd. We get a bit of Grassy Terrain if they protect. And yeah, next turn we can just go for a double Grassy Glide and should be enough to easily knock out the Urshifu in this position. So yeah, Chesnaught doing some sweeping action. I can't believe I forgot about the Talonflame Dragonite. Like, it took me to the Terra to realize, oh, now it feels familiar. And it's the same Air Cutter Talonflame. I don't know if the same player. We played this a long time ago. Grassy Glide, double Grassy Glide should finish this off easily. Yeah, like a +6 will 100% knock out this Urshifu. Goodbye, Urshifu. Beautiful. So Chesnaught sweeping 2 flying types, which is always very pleasant. I do think that Grassy Glide priority, it's really hard to handle. Now, if this was Gen 7 terrain with Gen 8 Grassy Glide, don't even get me started on how powerful that would be, but it is hecka strong. Okidogi, Arcanine, Wellspring, Ogerpon, Corviknight, Sylveon, and Grimmsnarl. Might be a little bit hard for Chesnaught to sweep this game. It's definitely playable though, so I will try. But Okidogi is actually really generally tough, especially with Grim and a Corviknight. I will probably Terra Fire in this matchup, which is definitely acceptable. But yeah, let's go with Chesnaught. Let's go with Rillaboom. I think it's a pretty good, solid bring. I think in the back, probably one Urshifu, because if I'm Terra Firing, then I have to worry about the Arcanine. Incineroar definitely wants to be brought. The question is, do I want to bring the Chien-Pao instead? Because Chien-Pao does give me the Sword of Ruin, but it could double backfire because of the Okidogi doing more damage to Chesnaught. So I do think that Chien-Pao should remain behind, but we'll find out. Maybe I need the extra power. But yeah, this is going to be a tough one. The fact that they have Corviknight, they have screens. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one per se, but we'll see. I can definitely be manageable. We're going to see Sylveon actually with Grimmsnarl, which is completely fine. All right. Elite Chesnaught plus Rillaboom. No Okidogi means I can set up pretty safely, so I'm glad for that. Now the question is, do I want to go for the Terra immediately? Probably. Like, I don't really see a reason not to commit my Terra here. So I'm going to go for a Belly Drum with my Chesnaught immediately. And I'm going to go for a Fake Out into... I think the question is if the Sylveon has Yawn. I think that could be a concern. But I think I'm going to Fake Out the Grimmsnarl turn 1 to deny a screen right off the bat. Because if I deny screens, Grassy Glide's hitting way harder, which I think is a pretty big benefit here. So I'm fine with going for the Terrifier Chesnaught and risking the potential Yawn here, I think. So we will Terra Chesnaught. Please just Hyper Voice. Oh, they Fake Out, actually. They have Fake Out instead. And actually, that's a fast Grimmsnarl because it outsped my Rillaboom. So that's like a Focus Sash Grimmsnarl, I think. Okay. So we will be able to get our Berry back, okay, with Chesnaught. And we're gonna see, yeah, just a hyper voice, which is fine. Okay, that's not too bad. It's basically what I wanted. The Terrifier was actually correct turn 1 for sure. Good fan and attempt to fake out the Sylveon and just raw belly drum. That would have been awful, actually. This works out pretty well. And yeah, that's a really fast Grimmsnarl. I'm just gonna say that, like, really fast. I think this turn I would just want to Drain Punch here, because the Sylveon can't really do much unless they want to Terra Water, but you should know about Grassy Glide as a position. I don't think it's really that great for you. I'm just going to Drain Punch the Grimmsnarl, I think, and I'm going to Wood Hammer the Sylveon. Or do I want to U-turn out? I could U-turn out too. I would like the recovery. I want Chesnaught to be healthy, so I'm going to Wood Hammer the Sylveon and Drain Punch. We're going to see the Sylveon detect, which is fine. Let's see what the Grimmsnarl went for. Probably Parting Shot. A-okay by me. Free Drain Punch into whatever's coming in. So I'm really glad I tarred down the Grimmsnarl slot. The only way that Sylveon pressured my Chesnaught was with a Terra Water, I think, Terra Blast, or Terra Ground Terra Blast. You know, there's a few typings that could hit me, but they're usually weak to grass, so not really super big risk that they want to take. Arcanine going to come in, which is completely okay here, as I'm able to get a Drain Punch into the Arcanine. I get rid of their only Intimidator, so I'm only, like, keeping that +5 in the game is very, very good here. So I'll gladly take their Arcanine. It's also one of the few Pokemon that actually hit the Terrifier Chesnaught on their team that isn't like the Ogerpon Wellspring. So goodbye, Arcanine. Lovely recovery from my Chesnaught. Looking like a really solid turn. Let's find out who they're bringing out next. Is it going to be Grimmsnarl again for Fake Out? If they go for Grimmsnarl Fake Out again, I'm just going to switch and go out into Incin. I want to say it's probably the Focus Sash Grimm set. We are going to see the Grimm come out. And I'm just going to go for a Spiky Shield with the Chesnaught. I'm going to go hard Incineroar. And the reason I'm going hard Incineroar is in case they want to make a read. But looks like they're going to farm it because they realize that Chesnaught is going to run through their team. This mod's crazy, actually. Like, it's actually impressive how many things it's able to wall with its ability plus Terra. How good its natural defense is. Dondozo, Fluttermane, Heatran, Landorus Incarnate, Glimmora, and the Dragonite. Now, Chesnaught does beat Glimmora. It is immune to Sludge Bomb. And Meteor Beam or Power don't do too much damage. The Dondozo can be a little bit scary. Should be manageable, though. The Dragonite I'm a little bit concerned about. But otherwise, I think we have a pretty dang good position. Heatran could be scary, though. I do got to watch out for Heatran. I think Chesnaught, I like the idea of just sweeping, although if it's unaware on the Dondozo, that can be a little bit concerning. I think I do like the lead of... Do I want to lead Rillaboom into this team? I think is a good question, because if I lead Rillaboom into this team, it can get really ugly. I just need to make sure I can pressure Dragonite. I think that's a big one. I do like the idea of... I think I am going to try out Chesnaught Rillaboom. It's tricky because Dragonite is something I'm going to have to be concerned about. I don't think Urshifu is it. I don't think it really does too much here. I think Chien-Pao and Incineroar, because I feel like Chien-Pao actually does do a lot of work here. The Sword of Ruin can actually activate like a few specific calcs, I think, in this game, which could be nice here, especially against the Heatran. The problem with Urshifu here is Surging Strikes doesn't really break through anything on this team. I think that's actually really important to keep in mind. So we're going to see Dragonite plus the Dondozo. Okay. We're going to have a bit of a tough time, but it should be acceptable. We will go for a... I don't know what Dragonite set you are, though. I think that's a big one I'm kind of trying to figure out here. I do want to Scout, I think. I'm going to Spiky Shield and I think go out into my... I want to go out into Chien-Pao? It might Yawn and Flying Move my Chesnaught. Or do I want to just go Incineroar? Incineroar might not be a bad play. I'm going to try out Incineroar and see. Because I get to find out whether this is multi... Or if this is like multi-scale Dragonite. If this is a Oblivious Dondozo. If it's unaware. Because if it's unaware, I don't know. Oh, it's multi-scale Dragonite. And Oblivious Dondozo. Okay. That's actually really good to know. The Spiky Shield. What is your Dragonite going for? I can fake out the Dragonite the next turn too, if necessary. Aerial Ace. Multi-scale Aerial Ace. Huh. Okay. I definitely take that. Is it Yawn coming out? Yeah, it doubled up into Chesnaught as I expected. So I could have went POW there, and actually if I went POW, I'm in a good position, but I don't think this is too bad because I can definitely afford to go for the Terra Fire. It was like in my initial game plan. I just got to be careful about Landorus because I got to make sure that I'm set up safely for it. But yeah, I am just going to belly drum and I'm going to fake out this turn. Don't really see a problem too much. The fact that Dragonite is multi-scale actually makes this a lot easier. We're going to see a Terra come out from my opponent, which is surprising. Also, the fact that it's Oblivious Sundozo also makes this easier. We're going to see a Terra from the Dragonite into the Terra Flying, which is perfect for me because I did Terra out of my option of the grass fighting Quadrus or Quad weak 2 that flying typing. So, really good point. But Terra Flying Aerial Ace is not something I'm too commonly see. Is this Terra Blast 2? We will Terra Fire our Chesnaught. Let's see what they decide to go for. Because we will fake out the Dondozo. Yeah, they went for a Terra Flying Aerial Ace, which shouldn't do too... That actually did more damage than I thought, actually. Huh. Okay. I still think that this is a pretty... I mean, it's not an amazing position because of the fact that it did more damage than I expected. Did do more damage than I expected, but it should be okay. I'm going to Spiky Shield with the Chesnaught. I'm going to Parting Shot out to the Dragonite, I think. The fact that the area... Well, it should be Choice Band Dragonite then. Yeah, it should be Choice Band Dragonite. I'm going to Parting Shot the Dragonite and go for a Spiky. I don't care if they yawn into the Incineroar. Having that extra turn of way the Parting Shot in the Dragonite, B, the fact that I'm getting the Grassy Terrain healing is actually really huge for me. So I will gladly take it. Also, like the Dragonite taking more damage is really nice as well because it actually might be in Drain Punch range. We are able to get a Parting Shot off into the Dragonite once again. So now it is at -2 stages of attack. I do have to watch out though because if they switch out, it can be a bit of concern, but we should be okay. I'm going to go out into my Rillaboom. I wonder if I can live an Aerial Ace if I swap out. Oh, what? Subdozo. Okay. This is something. I'm just going to try to double Grassy Glide to Dondozo, I think. If they protect, this is bad. But yeah, I had a feeling Dragonite switches out, but I have no idea if Dondozo protects. Because if I attack the Dragonite slot, it's actually very risky for them. Flutter Mane coming in, which is fine. If you don't protect the Dozo, this is huge for me. So let's see. Booster Energy, going to be Speed. Ah! All right. How many turns of Grassy Terrain left are going to be pretty huge, I think. If I have 2, I'm fine, but I'm pretty sure I only have 1 left, which is actually pretty dang concerning. Actually, no, it's fine because Flutter Mane can't really touch the Chesnaught if it's Speed Booster because Shadow Ball doesn't affect me. So I can actually just double up the Dondozo safely. Yeah, I can. I'm going to go for Grassy Glide into the double Grassy Glide into Dondozo. It's still my best play. They already Terra, so I don't have to worry about that. I just got to worry about the Dragonite that's Choice Band, but it's multi-scale, so I can actually play around it. So I don't think it's too bad here. Yeah, it's multi-scale Choice Band, so I can actually play around it. I think it's going to come down to does the Dondozo... Well, if the Flutter Mane actually has a move to hit the Chesnaught for like a pretty decent chunk, but only really move I can think of is like Power Gem, or maybe if it has a Thunderbolt for some reason. Dondozo is actually going to retreat here, which is a surprising play. Going to go out into Landorus, so they're giving me Landorus, which is actually a pretty big deal. Okay. Because that's one of the few Pokemon that could actually super threaten the Chesnaught, so I'll gladly take the Landorus off your hands. Yep. Okay, that's a really, really nice thing that they just did for me. Shadow Ball, but bulletproof! Bulletproof for making you immune to the ball and the bomb moves. Well, is it the... Well, actually, is it the bomb moves? Or is it blast moves? No, it is ball and bomb moves. Okay. I'm not crazy. So I can spike a shield here very safely. I can go out and Incineroar. I can fake out the Dragonite the next turn. I think they might forfeit at this rate. I don't see how they come back in this. Even if they get the read right and double instant and crit it, I just get a free back into Rillaboom. I click fake out Drain Punch again. Fluttermane can't really punish me. Yeah, like I just can't see how they're handling this end game position. And yeah, weakness of multi-scale Dragonite. Like sure, it's like real, like multi-scale is a really good move, but Dragonite being able to be immune to Intimidate and it like can't flinch is pretty big. Why does everything on your team have sub? But I don't care about sub Fluttermane. It's not doing any damage to me. Okay. They do get the Terra Blast read right into the Incineroar. Yeah, it was Terra Blast actually. So I was kind of correct on that. All right. But I just get a free Drain Punch into your Dragonite slot, and I get a free Fake Out into your Dragonite slot, and then I get the recovery back onto the Dondozo if you switch out. That's a huge amount of damage, by the way. And yeah, then I just switch back into Rillaboom. I have Fake Out Pressure. I just don't see anything. Yeah, we're going to see the swap here into the Dondozo. Let's see how much the +6 Drain Punch does. Dondozo's really, really bulky, so I'm not expecting the Drain Punch to KO. But this is going to do a pretty good amount. Yeah, sub Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam. Okay, so they can't even Icy Wind for a win con of like Icy Wind enough to drop my speed on Chesnaught, but I have Grassy Glide anyway. As you can see, we do a huge chunk to Dondozo. It's not a knockout, but it's still a pretty good chunk. And yeah, Chesnaught just healed back to nearly full. And we're just gonna keep cycling these fake out users until I get a position where I'm able to knock out their Dragonites. So like this Fluttermane, I don't care about this Fluttermane. I just wall this Fluttermane. I just wall it here. Bring out the Rillaboom. The Drain Punch, because I don't have to worry about the Fluttermane ever. I mean, I'm eventually going to have to worry about the Fluttermane, but today, right now, it's not one of them. Also, they can't Extremes me to win con the Chesnaught because the Chesnaught ended up recovering so much of its HP. So yeah, that's not even a win con that they have open to them. So we'll bring out Rillaboom with the Assault Vest, which is not taking any damage from that Fluttermane. And yeah, they can protect Dondozo, but doesn't really change anything here. They go for Dazzling Gleam. As you can see, it's just not doing any damage. Because like these teams with the speed booster, Fluttermane with Glamour with sub, I remember this being a thing in the past, but you really need the Glamour to do much. And the thing is, there are no toxic spikes. I've just been set up here. We go for a... I guess since I don't have to Drain Punch, I really shouldn't Drain Punch in this position in case they have no Protect for some reason. So I'm just going to Grassy Glide. And U-turn out the... U-turn out the Chesnaught? I don't think it really matters too much. I'm just going to U-turn the Fluttermane. They're going to protect Fluttermane, I guess, maybe hoping for a throw here of me doubling into the Fluttermane. Or actually, no, this prevents my U-turn. So, I mean, it does kind of make sense here, as I am able to get the Grassy Glide, finish off the Dondozo. But the thing is, the Dragonite is now going to be locked into a move, and that's actually going to be really important, because if they lock themselves into non-extreme speed, that means they don't have priority, which means Grassy Glide is now going to be able to wreck through the Dragonite, even if I don't one-shot it with the Drain Punch coming up. Maybe I should have self-U-turned to Chesnaught. I almost did. I still think I win anyway, regardless. But if I was probably in a more dangerous situation where like my mons were low, I probably would have. But yeah, we just go out into Incineroar. Pretty safe play. Just spike your shield here. If I was going to be forfeit, they kind of realized, oh, you just always get to fake out KO in a Dragonite because they took so much of the spike shield damage from earlier. Fake out plus Drain Punch is always going to KO the Dragonite. They have the Fluttermane, like, pretty much just can't do anything. And I still have a Pokemon in the back. And realistically, I think She and Pal does win in the back, especially with just one partner. So very, very nice, Chesnaught. Very, very nice. All right. We have Grimmsnarl, Tinglude, Annihilate, Gouging Fire, Amoonguss, and the Raging Bolt. I think Chesnaught goes pretty insane against this team if I play it well, so I do like just going Chesnaught Rillaboom. We're pretty good except into Gouging Fire, but we do have Intimidate. We do have quite a few things. This is a really unique team. The Gouging Fire here. I wonder if it's the Clear Amulet set or if it's just the standard booster energy, speed booster. Just get the Howls up for Annihilate. Annihilate going to be a little bit hard and tricky, but it should be manageable. Trying to figure out what I want as my last Pokemon. I probably want Chien-Pao because Grassy Glide puts on so much pressure, and also like a way to hit a Mungus I think is really nice. So just bring the Chien-Pao in the back. I bought Urshifu because it can help break through the Annihilate through screens, but I think it really depends on this Terra on Annihilate. Also, like, as long as I'm not hitting Annihilate, I should be fine. I have suspicion this is probably Bullet Seed on the Amoonguss because they don't exactly... Because I think this seems really passive to a way where Annihilate might not be able to get, like, the Rage Fist set up in time. So that's my suspicions. We'll see if they're correct or not. But a lot of this game plan is going to be, okay, we're going to set up a Belly Drum and then depending on the targets, because I don't know if screens are going to be functioning or not. I think it's going to depend on the lines here because... If I want to get rid of the Grimmsnarl so screens don't go up, it depends on if the... Okay, if it's a Mungus lead, for instance, it's going to depend on if it has Clear Smog or not, because that's a big question. Do I want to risk that is a big one here. I think I do want to just go for a Belly Drum immediately. And Mungus with Clear Smog is so rare that I think I'm willing to risk it and just fake out the Grimmsnarl immediately. So... Let's find out if this is Clear Smog on Amoonguss. If it's Sludge Bomb, it doesn't change anything. So we'll find out. We are able to get the Belly Drum up. All right, Amoonguss, do you have Clear Smog? That's a big question. Because if you don't have Clear Smog, this changes the nature of the game. Maybe I should have faked out the Amoonguss, but I didn't want to terrify. Ah! They got me. All right. They got me. Ooh, okay. I wonder if I can double Grassy Glide and knock out the Grim. I think that might be my hope right now. not a great position. I guess I should have gone greedy. The fact that they let Amoonguss should have signaled to me something too. But definitely still a very winnable game. It's just going to be a lot harder now. Let's go for our double Grassy Glide here and see if we can KO the Grim before it sets. Oh, we are doing no damage to that Grim. Never mind. It is either getting a... It is definitely getting a screen up. Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tricky one here. That's one of the weaknesses of this Chesnaught spread, unfortunately, is this factor. Oh, did they switch out into Annihilate? No, that's Gouging. Okay. If it was Annihilate, I think that would have put a lot more fear into me. It is going to be the booster energy standard on the Gouging, which is the speed booster, so that's okay here. I need to figure a way to get recovery on the Chesnaught so I actually am able to do damage. I'm turning out into the Gouging Fire. I want to freeze swap into Incineroar. I want to try to Drain Punch my own slot. They fake out, or they Clear Smog my Chesnaught. I gotta find a route that allows me to potentially set up something. I'm gonna Spiky Shield, I think, with the Chesnaught and go for a Parting Shot into the Gouging Fire. Let's see if this works. Okay, no. So I'm pretty sure they either howled or they doubled up the Chesnaught slot. Yep, they did. It looks like okay, perfect. Gives me a bit of damage into the Gouging Fire as well, which is actually really nice. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how I reposition this game because I gotta get enough recovery. Like, this is gonna be a really slow one. We're gonna have to get enough recovery in order to actually be able to threaten the Gouging Fire. Also was hoping that I was thinking that they could have went for a, what's it called? Burning Bulwark there to burn me. So I was worried about fake out Drain Punching, getting recovery back. I think I'm going to go back in Incineroar and probably U-turn out the Amoonguss now. But they can play aggressive at any time, which is what scares me. But yeah, we are going to go back to Incineroar. Get another Intimidate off. We're immune to the Clear Smog stuff. But if they do Clear Smog the Rillaboom slot, this is not going to be good. Okay, they Heat Crash, which is fine. It's like -2. Yeah, it's not doing that much damage, which is perfect. I wonder if Chesnaught could survive 1, because that would actually be really big. Rocky Helmet on Amoonguss 2 is not super helpful. Okay. I do think it's winnable. It's just like really, really rough. I need to get enough recovery. Okay. Oh, that was also another thing I was a bit worried about. I was hoping they would start doing it later, but yeah, now they actually, yeah, the fact that they clear smogs to their own Gouging Fire. Grassy terrain also returns to normal, which might be helpful, might not be. I have to stall the screens anyway, but yeah, this is not going to be super easy. If they have Pollen Puff too, I just don't know how I'm getting the recovery back. I think I'm going to Parting Shot the Amoonguss, go for Spiky Shield again. Let's see. A Heat Crash. I mean, it's funny because they've been taking so much recoil from this Spiky Shield, so it's actually been adding up. But the thing is, they could have Pollen Puff, which can absolutely get them recovery. I'm trying to stall out the screen so I can also do some damage, but also like figure out a way to heal my Chesnaught back for enough HP that I can actually, you know, do something, because that's actually going to be really important. We bring out Rillaboom, which is also going to heal their Gouging Fire, but right now I think healing Chesnaught's the #1 priority. They Spore because they're trying to scout the item of the Incineroar. Okay. Getting some recovery. Let's go for a Fake Out. And I think they're just stubborn about not going for anything anymore with Burning Bulwark. So I'm just going to take this time to get maybe some Drain Punch damage into the Gouging Fire. Because if they don't have Pollen Puff, this actually is huge. Although I really think they should. That Drain Punch does absolutely nothing. As they clear smog again. I think in the long term, I just made a bad risk and it did not pay off. This is winnable, but I do not see myself really winning this game. I'm going back in Incineroar. I like the Incineroar play, and Spiky Shield is so obvious, but I'm just going to do it. If they howl, it changes the game, but we'll see. But yeah, at this point, I kind of just have to keep playing this game. I'm just worried about when they make the Annihilate switch up, because they could easily go Annihilate, because these rotations are very obvious. But Spiky Shield as a Heat Crash. Yeah, they Heat Crash that slot. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Spore double too, because I've been playing so obvious. Oh, okay, they have Pollen Puff, yeah. I mean, it makes sense with a bulky team like this. So all my damage on Gouging Fire has been negated and dealt worthless. I'm gonna clear smog. The last turn to reflect. Dang, I'm trying to figure out a safe position, but it's pretty tricky. Pretty tricky. I think, you know what? I'm so down in this game. I need recovery. I need recovery, I think. So I'm willing to Drain Punch risk here. because I think I need the recovery to set up a belly drum. And I feel like this is one of the few ways for me to actually get the situation. I don't think it's too bad. I can definitely manage here because like look at the recovery I've gotten. I think that recovery is actually going to be huge because I've been negating the Gouging Fire's attack damage for so long at this point. Reflect finally wears off, which is huge too. I'm going to go for a parting shot into the Gouging Fire, and I'm going to go for Spiky Shield. And then we're going to go Rillaboom. So this game, I mean, it's probably over, but I am playing to my out here, which is setting up for the Chesnaught winning because I do see a path of victory. It's really not ideal, but there is something here. And if there's something, I got to go for it, right? Damn, what? I mean, I have a safety goggle, so I don't care about Spore, yeah. Okay. I don't know what that one was about, but sure. I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. Oh, but the fact that they have Scary Face actually does change something. Yeah, that does actually change a little bit. Wait, do they not have Howl? Or they don't have Breaking Swipe. Or maybe they don't even have Burning Bulwark. Okay, Grassy Terrain disappears from the field. That's -2, so I'll live. Heat Crash. I got to Fake Out. We're going for the Terra Fire finally. Alright. I feel like Scary Face should mean it doesn't have Burning Bulwark. I have no idea. We'll risk it. I'm going for the Terrifier Chesnaught. Fake out the Amoonguss because Clear Smog's obviously the super big threat here. We do live the Heat Crash. Yep, barely. Which is important because I actually do need to live the upcoming attacks. Okay. All right, we finally have a position. We finally have had a position with Chesnaught. So I'm going into Incineroar for just to stall out this Amoonguss. And I need Rillaboom alive so I can actually Grassy Glide their team. The problem is, are we going to be able to get that position? We have been fighting for this position of getting that Belly Drum Chesnaught set up for so long. This is how I've tried to. Oh, they switched out, which is not great either. What is that? Oh, this got really bad. This got really bad. They finally made the Annihilate double. What was the play there? It was probably the U-turn. I would have had to read the switch. So I have two options. Do I think they make the optimal play always? Do they Rage Powder or are they gonna go for something else? If they Rage Powder, then my best play is to go for the double Spiky Shield with Chesnaught and then Parting Shot out. If I think that they're gonna go for a Spore or Clear Smog, then my best play is just to Grassy Glide the Annihilate, and then I get it to a 3v4 situation. And I think I kind of have to go for the throw at this point. It's like looking really rough. Bring out the Rillaboom. Let's see. They protected. They double protect actually, because if they double protected that. Wait, no, they shouldn't have protect on the Amoonguss. I needed to. I think they read that. No, they did read my Grassy Glide switch. Okay, it's over. It was like I had the position right, but there were two turns I just got wrong, which were this one and the last one, which were pretty crucial because I did fight for the position. The Annihilate protected because I read that. If I faked out, it could have stalled out a turn. I think my best play would have been just to go for like a parting shot into Xianpao. But yeah, this unfortunately the game is 100% over. I cannot win this end game. Also, they have like way too much health remaining on their team, and I've taken so much damage. So that's one of the problems with Chesnaught was the clear smog Amoonguss. Probably should have thought about it because they have a really defensive team, so they probably really want a nice setup, but especially since they led Amoonguss. But I was like, not too sure, but it did not work out. All right, let's quickly go over the games because I could really recap games 1, 2, and 3 very easily. And that's just Chesnaught was able to set a belly drum even against like some of the odds where, you know, maybe Pokemon you would expect to set a belly drum against, like double flying types. However, was able to set up the belly drum, especially with that Terrifier. It was hard for our opponents to really handle the Chesnaught. Was able to set up the belly drum and then pretty much just sweep with the right supports. Game 4 was a little bit of an interesting one. I kind of risked a bit too much with it being clear smog Amoonguss. I think I should have probably just went for a belly drum immediately and faked out the Amoonguss. The only problem is setting up against the screens Grimmsnarl with the clear smog Amoonguss ended up being very tricky. I think I actually would have probably had to bring like Xianpao. I would have probably had to go for like a fake out belly drum turn 1, and then the next turn would have probably been have to U-turn plus a Spiky Shield, and then hope that Icicle Crash Drain Punch gets the Amoonguss, even if it decides to tear into something, which would have actually been really tough regardless. So I think it would have been tricky anyway, but I think that would have really been my only out. Took too much of a risk turn 1, even though it was suspicious, and yeah, it did not pay off. Overall, I really love when we see niche Pokemon like this that's able to do extremely well into Pokemon, especially like it's with the Terra from Chesnaught. You're able to handle Xianpao. You have really high base physical defense to take on all the physical attackers. And you have the belly drum Grassy Glide able to do so much damage, a Drain Punch for recovery. It's absolutely phenomenal how well that Chesnaught did in today's video. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. You could try out the rent code on your screen if it is still available. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.